Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
Welcome to your Monday morning drive and Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio. This is Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh. I'm Lucas Durazio, joined by Dom Farrow. This is being recorded on January 24th, comes out on January 27th, 1 week after the Ohio State Buckeyes officially became national champions, taking down the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But Dom, we have more pressing matters. We want to get back to this show's roots, and there's something big that came out just today. It came across my desk, a video of Big Justice unboxing or unpackaging a big Pokemon card, and I think that's pretty much what we're going to talk about for the first segment today.
Pretty much we're going to be talking about all day, so just stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned if you want all the Big Justice and Big Boom AJ, Boom Fumo.
Basically about to take over the airwaves for the next 8 hours talking about this, so
that's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do an all-night marathon recording here, talking about the value of Big Justice's card. This is our 20th episode, so I think that we should get back to our roots
I
and
did not
celebrate number 20
That's
by doing this and talking about Big Justice right off the bat. If you haven't seen it, I think the TikTok account is called like Blazing Cards or something like that. And I think they were doing like a live stream or of something of that nature. It was Big AJ, Big Justice, and some dude who clearly like
card guy
was really loving being in the spotlight right
I
there.
feel like he gave him the cards, right?
Yeah, he had to. Which also that's the other thing to me is I'm like,
Yeah.
is this set up?
Yeah, they
or-
weighed that pack.
I feel like they might. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not a.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
much
know anything about cards, even though I have a whole binder full of Pokemon cards that I want to take and trade in and see how
Yeah.
much money I can get out of them.
That would be fascinating.
Because I feel like I can get a couple hundred at least.
And then we donate it to the show.
That's right, exactly.
So we can talk about this a little later, but Paul Skeens, his rookie card, with
that's right, with his signature,
game-worn patch, I think, like from his debut, they found that today. An 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much
So
will
he's
that
selling
be
it.
worth? He's selling it already?
I think it's going to auction. He's not taking the Pirates offer, which was
What
like
was the Pirates offered him something.
the Pirates gave him a crazy offer, which
He
it
shouldn't
included, like,
sell right now. He should sell in 10 years. Which I get. Well, I guess maybe not, because he could end up. What if he has Tommy John this year? He does something
that's
to
true. Gotta
his PCL
capitalize.
or whatever the elbow CL is.
So the Pirates proposed a trade. The 11-year-old collector would receive 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years.
Oh wow!
Meet and greet with Paul Skeens, 2 Paul Skeens autographed jerseys, a softball game for 30 at PNC Park with coaching from Pirates alumni, a private tour of Pirate City in Lecom Park. That's like their spring training facility and stuff.
Pirate City?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie.
I've
And
never
the only
been there.
Pirate City I want to go to is like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney or something.
Caribbean or Caribbean?
Caribbean.
I feel like that's actually like Caribbean, but when you're talking about the movie,
It's the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
I feel like that's one of those. We'll get back to this,
But here's the last thing in this deal. This might be the best part.
Caribbean. Don't let me forget Caribbean.
Okay, we'll get back to Caribbean. The last part of this deal is a Pirates game with Livy Dunn in her suite, courtesy of Livy Dunn. And that's kind of that. Like everything else would be like, yeah, I'm probably gonna sell. And then I'd see that last one. I'm like,
that's
that
pretty
would
chill.
be pretty cool.
That is pretty chill.
Be a flex.
Now, I actually just thought about it. I was like, they're not giving him any monetary value, though, which really is. Because he's going to get a couple of thousand probably
You
from
don't
the
think
card.
you could sell those
But
home plate?
that's what I was about to say. He could literally sell those probably for like around $100
Probably more.
a ticket, if not more, every day for the next 30 years. Not every day, but every home game for the next 30 years.
Yeah, 80
It could be.
games a year.
Yeah.
That's money.
And
right
he's got
there.
2 of them. That could be.
I think those
This
seats
kid
are-
might have no idea what he's talking about in a business. It's like that kid on Shark Tank where they're like, "Get out of here! You're
But
you're scamming us."
I'm pretty sure this kid, they're taking it to auction, and all the proceeds are going to donate to like the Los Angeles Fires.
Oh, that's good. Good for him. He should still get the ticket with Livy Dunn, though.
Yeah, hopefully they still treat him well. I mean, the Pirates have the opportunity to buy this ticket. They really want it so bad, they'll get it at auction.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they really want to make a good offer, just give him cash.
Yeah, and then they'll end up giving cash, and they should match whatever these people end up donating. Livy Dunn should go to the game with the kid.
Probably. He deserves that.
So Caribbean.
Caribbean, I feel like, is one of those words that I say different every single time that I say it. You ever have those? Like, pecan.
Yeah.
Crayon.
Yeah.
Crayon. Do you like, which one is it? Crayon?
I don't say crayon.
You say crayon?
That. Yeah.
You don't say crayon.
Never said that.
I feel like I grew up saying crayon, but I feel like crayon is more fun to say.
What about program and program?
Program.
Program? Mm-hmm.
No, it's program.
Program.
It's program.
Welcome into this program.
No, this is Behind Enemy Lines, your favorite, your number one radio
Number one
program. Yeah. Program? That's not a word.
It's the same thing as pecan.
No,
I think I'd say pecan, but when I'm talking about the pie, I'd say pecan pie.
Yeah,
like Reese's Pieces.
Like Reese's Pieces, yes. Did we have this conversation? Is this another conversation we've had?
I think this was an off-air conversation.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Not on the show, off-air, by the way. Listen to that with Shane E.
That's right.
But did we say this on air or off-air?
Pretty sure
Reese's Pieces?
I'm 99% sure this is an off-air conversation.
See, when I'm talking about the Pieces...
It wasn't a conversation. It was an argument. Like, we almost fought.
Yeah, we did.
Because it's not Reese's Pieces.
When I'm talking about the Pieces, I'll say Reese's. If I'm talking about the cup, I probably still say Reese's, actually.
Yeah, well,
but it's
both of
Reese's.
those are wrong.
I know it should be Reese's.
What is a Pieces? And what makes you...
I don't know what it is, but Reese has them.
No one's name is Reese. There's someone named Reese.
What's a rhesus monkey?
What?
A rhesus monkey? You ever heard that? I feel like that was a thing, like,
Rhesus
when we were
monkey?
growing up, it was like, oh, he's running around like a rhesus monkey. I don't know what that means.
I think when I hear that, it'd be like more like a spider monkey.
I know. I don't know what that, like, who's Reese and why does he have monkeys?
Reese's
monkeys?
Yeah.
Pecan, pecan, crayon, crayon. There's another
program.
one. No one says program. It's program. That's a word. There's another one. There's a couple other ones. Caramel or caramel.
Yeah.
Which one do you say?
Caramel.
That's another one where, like, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll be like, ooh, caramel. But, like, the caramel.
Really?
Like, if I'm getting chocolate with caramel ice cream, which I don't really get often, but go on.
I got nothing.
I can see the gears turning.
Yeah, I'm trying to
in your
think
head.
of something right now, but I got nothing.
There's another one that I'm trying to think of, but I can't. Reese's
monkey. Spider monkey.
Reese's monkey.
Reese's Pieces.
There you go.
Program.
There's no program. That's not a word. Program. This program is mentioned.
This program is sponsored by.
This program is a sports show, so I guess we should talk about some sports. The NFL playoffs really heating up. By the time this comes out, the Super Bowl will be set. We are recording this on the Friday before. What do they call it? Championship Sunday now.
Championship, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't the NFL like markets it as Championship Sunday?
Probably.
Kind of annoying.
I think they dropped the Super and Super Wild Card Weekend this year. We didn't talk about, but now.
Super Wild Card Weekend?
Yeah, remember that's what they were calling it?
Well, they shouldn't call it that because there's only one Wild Card Weekend. So it's not like there's one that's... I mean, I guess it was bigger than in the past.
I liked it. They should have just kept that.
Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super duper Wild Card Weekend.
They should. They should make it they should make it like a March Madness tournament where it's just all 32 teams and it's super duper.
That would be good.
Yeah.
We should propose that. We had the Jeans League. We were on that first.
Just like a 16-week-long playoffs.
I mean, eventually that's probably what they're going to end up doing. In college football, maybe, at least.
Yeah.
Just do a 15-week tournament.
The only I don't know. Watching the national championship was kind of bittersweet for me because I am an Ohio State fan. Like I've said on this show, like I'm not outwardly like super supportive of Ohio State, but at the same time, if you ask me every year, who do you want to win the national championship? I would say Ohio State. They won it this year. Kind of just a boring game to me, and I think it was like this Ohio State team. Like I feel like they're so good. Like where they have all these pieces. They have 2 like NFL level defensive ends. They have 3 NFL level wide receivers. They have a quarterback who can get the ball out. They have 2 NFL running backs. Their offensive line was a little bit beat up, but they have the best safety in the nation. Like they have good DBs. Like it was kind of boring for me to watch, and it was kind of like, yeah, they should win this game. They should be the national champions. So I feel like I didn't celebrate in any way. Like I was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a very.
It wasn't an exciting game, really.
It wasn't like you build up. It's not like you like climbed a mountain. It's not like you achieved.
I almost feel
there was
like
no moment where it's like, man, we really got this.
Now, and then also like the other thing about it is like, oh man, they're trying to hype it up like it was the hardest road to win a national championship, which like it was because they had to win the most games, but like
someone had to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Someone had to. They're like they beat the most AP top 10 teams of all time in a single season. It's like, well, yeah, because they played 4 of them in a row.
Yeah.
It's like, well, someone was going to do that pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been Georgia, and it'll be somebody else next year.
Yeah. And then the other thing was they were trying to hype up, like, they said Quinshon Judkins had the most touchdowns in the college football playoff of all time. He had 7. And it was like, well, yeah. He played 4 games.
That's like when.
Which again, 7 touchdowns over 4 games is impressive. Still.
Yeah, but that's like when March Madness in the '70s expanded from 32 to 64, and being like,
yeah,
man, Kareem Abdul was getting beat by Christian Laettner and scoring a tournament.
Yeah, they have all they're bringing out all these stats that I think are so misleading. Where it's like, I understand they're trying to hype up the tournament and make them look better, but at the same time, it's like these stats are dumb.
Well, and then they've always been doing that stuff. They just make up stats that don't mean anything. It's like, I saw another one last night. This is different. It's basketball, but Jokic, who had a tremendous performance last night. I think he had like 30 points.
I think 40 even, maybe.
40, like 30 rebounds or something insane. Some crazy stat line. It was like first since Wilt Chamberlain. But it was like a very specific number where you can narrow it down. Like you can find whatever you want by narrowing down stats.
Yeah, the other one that didn't make any sense to me, that the stat that was pulled out during the playoff was they were talking about Ashton Genty going for the rushing record and beating Barry Sanders for most rushing yards, and then they were like, now he is close, but we do want to say that Barry Sanders did have 240 yards in a bowl game, but at that time they didn't count bowl games towards season stats. So, but now they do, and it was like, oh, well then go back now. It's been 30 years. Probably, yeah. I don't even know how many. It's been more than 30 years, probably. Like, they have the stat right there, 230 yards. Why don't they just retroactively go back and add that and make it fair?
Yeah.
No?
An interesting way to think about it, but that they just can't do that stuff.
Why not?
They just...
Why not? They also, for a while, they couldn't, let players from the Negro Leagues into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and now they're like, well, yeah, we should go back and do that. Why don't we?
Yeah.
So now they do. So why can't they do that with college football records or, things like that?
Yeah, I even feel like that. I think that was weird with baseball, but baseball is already too flawed with their stats.
Well, baseball's lame.
Well, it's because of like how much they've changed the game.
Yeah,
they weren't playing this many games past.
Yeah, and I think that's all. You also see that in the NBA or the NFL because like they used to play 12 games, and like Eric Dickerson's rushing record was only with 14 games.
Yeah,
but that's the one I'll defend because Eric Dickerson still had like 60 more carries than Adrian Peterson did in his whole season. The season that Adrian Peterson was 9 yards short.
I know that.
He had like 390 carries that year.
Wow.
And I think Adrian Peterson had like 320, something like that.
Adrian Peterson, I saw a video of his kid running over him, dude.
Oh, word?
The future.
Is it because he got beat? Remember that?
I saw a tweet. He's like, is this the one that got hit with the stick?
switch?
Yeah.
That year really crushed me in fantasy football. I drafted Adrian Peterson number 1 overall.
That
I was so
happened,
excited to have him too.
That
He
happened
was
August or something. I don't even
yeah,
remember.
he was like my
September.
favorite player of all time. I was like, got Adrian Peterson, let's go.
He
We're
was the
winning, and he missed like half the season because of it. It was a rough one.
I remember.
I think I changed my team name to Adrian Beat Your Son.
Adrian Peterson was like one of my first like favorite players. Was
Oh, he was so much fun to watch. Well, I got. I remember playing Madden 08 and like I didn't even really follow the NFL that much, but I remember on Madden 08 they had like you can create a player and do like a rookie. Obviously you play as a rookie and then you play your career, but they did that where you could do that but with current rookies. Whereas now I feel like you can kind of like do a career mode with any player. You could only do it with rookies then.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll do this Adrian Peterson guy because I wanted to play running back always, whatever. I was like, oh, I'll just do this. Like, he's a running back. And he was a beast. And I was like, I love this guy. So he was like, yeah, one of my first favorite players, Adrian Peterson. My favorite position, running back. Favorite game at the time, Madden.
Favorite color, purple.
Favorite color, purple. Purple.
It was the first Steelers game I ever went to. Played the Vikings.
Oh,
Brett
word.
Favre was the quarterback. It was a game where Adrian Peterson ran over and stomped.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Will Gay. Very memorable moment. Watch it on YouTube.
There was a time in my high school career before JV football games, my freshman year, I would watch Adrian Peterson highlights, and I would always watch that one where he catches the pass and turns around and just boom over Will Gay, and then he steps on him too. He like uses his hand as a stepping stool.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I watched it was like a 10-minute video of Adrian Peterson career highlights, and of course he was always dicing up the Browns, unfortunately. We can talk about the Browns quick before we go into this first break, by the way. Deshaun Watson, this has been a couple weeks out. We haven't really gotten the time to talk about it. There's been so much other things going on in the NFL landscape, obviously, with the playoffs and also college football landscape with playoff there and the national championship. But Deshaun Watson reportedly re-tore his Achilles setback, which may set him back and have him be out for most of, if not the entirety of the 2025 season. Dom, do you think that, like, this pretty much means they're taking a quarterback in April, right? In the draft? It almost guarantees it in my mind.
What pick?
I feel like I don't want it to be at number 2. I want them to take something else. I would like a second rounder. I would love them to take Quinn Ewers or even Will Howard in like the second, anywhere between second and fourth round.
Why do you think Will Howard hasn't getting any first round buzz?
I don't know. They talked about that on Pat McAfee the other day, and he was like, he's doing everything he needs to in the biggest situations, and he is surrounded by tons of talent, but like he's got good enough arm strength and arm talent, and like he's got an NFL body.
Yeah, I mean, if JJ McCarthy can be a first round quarterback,
yeah,
I don't see why Will Howard isn't.
Yeah, I think that it'll be interesting through the draft process of like his pro day and the combine, because everyone has a pro day. He'll obviously be invited to the combine. Like, I think that that's kind of going to be an area where like how athletic he is kind of going to jump off the page a little bit more, where it's like he doesn't look crazy fast out there, but he's running against guys who run 4.3s, and now he might run like a 4.7, and that's a good time for a quarterback, or something like even a 4.8. And then like you look at him and he's 6'3", 240. Like, he can take care of himself. He can take the hits. He has good enough feet. He has a good enough arm where he's going to be zipping it out there. I think that he could move up in his draft stock. I still don't think he's a first rounder, though.
Yeah, he's pushing it. You never know, though. Things change so much in these months leading up to the draft. Mel Kiper came up with his mock draft just the other day. Is the Titans taking Cam Ward at 1, the Browns taking Travis Hunter number 2.
I wouldn't mind getting Travis Hunter. My only thing is that the Titans they hired a new GM, and he came out in his press conference and said, we're not going to pass up on a generational talent at the first pick, which in my mind just says, why would we not get the first true two-way player since, the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
So that to me kind of says that, and in my mind, then I'm like, oh, maybe Cam Ward will be there too.
He could still be talking about Cam Ward though.
Maybe
Cam
that's
Ward,
possible.
most touchdowns of all time in college football career. He could be a generational talent.
He could be, and I think
And Shador as well. I mean, it's the son of one of the greatest.
I don't think Shador's a generational talent though. He won't be a number 1 pick.
But
He shouldn't
these
be. At
GMs,
least.
they talk nonsense.
They
He's
do.
gonna be a top 5 pick. Shador.
They do make buzz, just like we make buzz here at Behind Enemy Lines. 216-859-8699. We'll talk a little more draft when we come back.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Hi, this is Melissa.
Hey, it's Matt.
Hi guys, my name is Ari.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
Come through to a Synergy Naked session.
Synergy Naked is a live performance recording, also captured on video. Look for our releases on YouTube at Synergy Music Studio.
We're located on the south side near Chicago. Passing through.
Hit up our DMs on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio. While you're on WSRR Radio, you might be checking us out on the Live 365 app or at our website. Make sure you're also checking out some of the other shows that we have, like the Lo-Fi Wake Up from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on weekdays. If you can't sleep between the hours of 3 and 6, or you just have a real job that requires you to get up at a reasonable hour, make sure you're listening to the Lo-Fi Wake Up from 3 to 6 a.m. on weekdays. This is Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh. And me and Dom talked a little bit about the draft before the break, and now we're going to stay in the NFL and talk about the NFL playoffs. They are upon us. By the time that this comes out, the Super Bowl will be set. We still have to watch Championship Sunday and watch the Chiefs versus the Bills. Is this the year that Josh Allen and the Bills can get it done against the Chiefs in the playoffs? I saw a stat that said Josh Allen 4-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, 0-3 against him in the playoffs.
Wow.
Today I was at the bar having lunch and kind of doing degenerate activities, to be in all honesty, having a couple of beers at like 1 p.m. But they on the TV's NFL Network, I think it was NFL Network, I kind of just assumed, was playing all 3 of the Chiefs-Bills playoff games back to back to back.
Wow.
I was kind of like, damn, that
They're all
kinda
good
hurts.
games.
They're all great games, but it was like, man, it does seem, like something about the Chiefs in the playoffs, obviously. They
Wow.
kind of have their number, like, but is this the year that the Bills can do it?
Bills can't lose 4 times in a row. We all know that. They've never done that, right?
Never in a big stage.
Never
Never
happened.
at a big stage in the playoffs have the Buffalo Bills franchise lost 4 in a row.
This time does seem a little different, all jokes aside. I do think the Bills, I don't know if it's more the Bills or the Chiefs not being on the same caliber that they were last year.
Yeah, I do think it's a combination, because I think that Josh Allen is like clearly playing the best ball of his career, which is saying something because he's been pretty damn good. And the Chiefs, like, even though now that it's the playoffs, obviously they kind of kicked it into a new gear. They kind of just blew out the Titans, in all honesty. Like, it wasn't a game that I had any interest in watching. I kept checking the score, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not turning that on.
Yeah.
Because they beat them by, 20?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It does seem like the Chiefs haven't, even though they've only lost 2-3 games this year, still it's almost like they haven't lived up to their potential because all the games were close. But I've said this in the past, I do feel like winning close games makes you a better team.
Oh,
in the long
100%.
run, because you have that close game, experience, obviously, but also like you're showing you can win even when you're not at the top of your game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, they looked terrible for the first 3 quarters and then they won.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to if the Bills are watching. They know what this Chiefs team does when their backs are against the wall. Like, the only way they win this one is if they come out hot.
Which
'Cause
they
if
have in the
Chiefs-
past. Like I said, I watched all the 3 games. I believe in at least 2 of them they were winning at the beginning. And, the Chiefs obviously are super good and they get back into it. I really feel like they got to go like Ohio State versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl, like where Ohio State blew the door off like in the first 3 possessions.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh my God, even if Oregon played pretty good the rest of the game, actually, but it was just too much.
Yeah. I think that could happen. The Bills definitely have the capabilities, but I think if the Chiefs find ways to stay in this one, then they'll probably end up winning.
Yeah,
Because-
which I feel like I've said about Chiefs a couple times. Like, if it's a blowout, the Bills will win. But if it's close, the Chiefs are going to, like, if it's close in the fourth quarter, if it's a 1-possession game, the Chiefs are going to find a way to win.
They always do. Now, what about the NFC Championship game? This one, I think, could be much closer than people imagine. And I also think that Commanders, I think that the Commanders could really...
Take it easy, buddy.
I think Commanders could surprise some people. They've got a lot of grit this year. I mean, you saw it last week. They beat the number 1 seed. What was the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They take them down convincingly, almost drop a 50 burger on them. And now they take on the Eagles in Philadelphia.
A rubber match.
6-point underdogs.
1-1 against each other this year.
Yep. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm honestly a little bit more interested in this one than the Bills and Chiefs, if I'm being honest.
I think that I'm a little more interested in the Bills game just because of the lore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big storyline guy.
That's right.
I'm a big, like, this is a career-defining game for so-and-so, which it is, obviously, for the Bills and Chiefs. I think it's interesting because usually in the NFL, like, you almost always see, like, especially in quarterbacks, like, they have to lose a couple times in the playoffs before they can make it to a conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Jaden Daniels is kind of defying that rookie year. They've looked really good. Terry McLaurin's been awesome. And I think this team's really good. They got a really good defense too.
They called Joe Burrow Joe Cool. No one's as cool as Jaden Daniels. There's nobody in the league like as calm.
Yeah.
He's like how I imagine Joe Montana was.
Yeah,
I didn't
and right
watch
out of the
Joe
gate too.
Montana,
Like right out of the gate.
But like so much, he doesn't get super hype. There's no like highs, there's no lows. He's just always
He's a
Mr.
flatliner.
Consistent. So I think he's got the mentality where he can go in this environment and actually come out with a win.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting because, like, I think the Eagles are really good. I think they have so many weapons. It's tough to stop the best running back in the league, as well as one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. I mean, it's top. He's probably top 3. Lamar, Jaden Daniels, and him. Really, I feel like. Or is there anyone else whom I like?
Tyler's better than
Jalen Hurts. You think?
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like there's more designed runs for Jalen Hurts. Maybe it's
Fields is a better running quarterback.
Yeah, possibly.
I think he Hurts 2 years ago. Yeah, he was definitely. But I feel like he's not that type of guy anymore.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
He's
really
also not running it like that.
I think I've said I think it's interesting like 6 times in this segment already.
It's just so interesting.
It's just so interesting. I'm just so interested in this
football.
Oh my goodness, my intrigue is peaking right now. I think it's interesting that like they have so many weapons and yet they still use him so much, and like he has the stats that he has are crazy too. Like how many rushing touchdowns he has, and like almost all of them. I mean, not almost all of them, but a ton of them are from 1 yard out. It's wild. The tush push is
I don't like
annoying.
Not
it's boring to watch.
Yeah, I think it ruined a lot of things in football. Never been a fan of it, but there's no way that you can get rid of it.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything illegal.
Yeah, they're playing football.
Yeah.
But teams can't find ways to
They're just
stop it.
saying we're lining up against you and we're going to push you back, or you're going to push us back, and
Big on big.
you're not going to push us back. So it's wild because They don't run anything out of it, too, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. I don't watch tons of Eagles games. But, like,
You know what's happening every time.
I feel like the Browns before, like, at the beginning of this season, the Browns would kind of do, like, a tush-push type formation. And, like, they even brought Jameis Winston in. This was when Deshaun Watson was playing. They'd bring in Jameis, and he would, like, run sneaks. And, but then they'd run something off.
Yeah.
They don't do that in Philly. They never run anything off.
Because their success rate is like 99%.
Yeah, why
Or
would
Browns.
you do anything else? But I still feel like people like set up to be like, oh, I have to make sure that we guard everything. Which sometimes people do stop the push, but like very rarely.
See them stop with the Steelers a lot.
They stop the Steelers from doing it.
I mean, they don't really do a tush push a ton, but you get in formations where you just know exactly what's going to happen. You can't get it done. I think that's the biggest difference between elite teams and just decent ones, where you know what this team wants to do. Can you stop them? Eagles are one of those teams where they get what they want most of the time.
Team that didn't get what they want, someone that's related to your Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chicago Bears, trying to trade for Coach Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's crazy. Steelers shut that down.
What was the
immediately.
offer exactly?
There
Exactly.
There was no offer. I think it was just a feeler. Like, would this be possible?
There's another word that people pronounce differently. Exactly and exactory.
Yeah, some
People say that
call
all the
it that.
time.
A lot of people say that, actually.
So they were like pretty much just weren't even hearing it. Why did that get leaked so much then?
I wonder that a lot. I wonder like which side is leaking that. Is it like internal people? Is it coming from like the source, the GM themselves?
How often do you think there's ever talks of trading coaches?
No, because it's a good question. Has it? It's happened before, right? But
I
not
believe so.
Not in the modern NFL.
I think it did happen once, didn't? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'd have to look into that more, but you'd think it would happen more. But you see guys like Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach. You think that maybe the Jaguars would just try to hear some offers for the guy, right?
Yeah,
but it's
no,
just
they
like, yeah, you're
canned him.
fired. They just
Canned him.
with other players, like no matter how bad they are, no matter how much of an issue they are for a team, most of the time you're trying to get bare minimum like a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Coaches, it's just like, all right, we'll cut him. Speaking of coaches, been a lot of movement, and there's been some breaking news while we're recording this. The Cowboys hired their offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer as their next head coach. Mike McCarthy is out. That's another guy who I thought would have been a target for teams to trade for. He's been around for a long time. He's one of the most successful coaches.
Well, his contract was up, so that's why no trade for him, because like his contract was up. So
yeah,
they didn't fire him. They just decided to go
part
somewhere
ways.
else.
Well, what do you think about Schottenheimer? Their offenses had mixed success over the years.
Who was he for the what? Huh?
The offense coordinator for the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I think he didn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah,
And he's
I mean,
done a
especially
lot
this
with it.
past year with Dak being hurt. I mean, I think that I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I think there's some interesting hires though. I like how many like former players there's being hired, and like players who played at high levels too. Like there's tons of oh, no, you're yawning, you're making me yawn. There's tons of coaches who are like, you find out that they played, and it's like, yeah, they played receiver at a D2 school and like never anything else. But like now you're seeing like Mike Vrabel, like an all-pro line. I don't know about that, but I don't know if he was
I don't
actually
think he was
all-pro.
that great.
A Super Bowl winning linebacker. I mean, he played in the league for what, like over 10 years.
Yeah.
Going back to the Patriots, I think that's an awesome hire. I think I did want Vrabel to maybe be the next Browns coach if Stefanski got fired. Like I liked that he was with the Browns last year.
Yeah.
I also at one point said that he should be the Ohio State coach after Ohio State lost to Michigan. But apparently, according to
Turn
Dom
on
now,
Ryan Day quick.
I can never say anything about Ryan Day.
I don't
want to
hear it. I don't want to hear it. He got it done.
But does that make him a great coach just because they won a national championship?
Yes.
Does it?
What national championship winning coach isn't a great coach?
Ryan Day?
No,
But
he's not. He is.
Aaron Glenn, another cornerback who played for a while for the Jets, is now their head coach, which I think that's like really cool to see.
Yeah.
And then the one that shocked me is, this isn't a player, but another coach hiring that shocked me was Pete Carroll being hired by the Oakland Raiders. Ooh, Oakland. Whoa. Las Vegas Raiders.
It's almost worse than Redskins.
How is that almost worse?
That is
How
worse.
is saying the wrong city worse than a racial slur?
It's just so much worse. Have some respect. Come on.
Oakland Raiders. Oh
Have
my
some
God.
class.
Cancel him.
But Pete Carroll, I don't know if I like this move. I feel like they got rid of him in Seattle and it ended his career not on a high note, but on a note where it was still, he
Respectable.
had a nice,
respectable note.
a very nice legacy still. I think he goes here, and I think things are going to fall off a cliff. I think he's going to have zero success here.
I think it hurts a lot because they're in a terrible situation. I mean, like, I don't know what pick they have, but they don't have a quarterback. They don't have
A running back.
They don't have
They don't have a receiver. They don't have anything.
They don't have a lot of. They have Brock Bowers. That's what they do.
Bowers.
They have Brock Bowers and
Nicey.
Michael Mayer, or what's the other the Notre
Michael
Dame tight
Mayer.
end.
Brock Bowers got me feeling nicey, but everything about that team outside of him, not so nicey. The only thing that gives me a little optimism is that Tom Brady's the owner, and I feel like
That's
he
true.
probably had a big say in this hiring. Tom Brady thinks that Pete Carroll is good enough to give this team a chance to win a Super Bowl, then I think he knows a lot better than anybody else.
Do you think that Brady gave Belichick a call? Because apparently Belichick, maybe now he has, but at one point I heard that he hadn't actually signed a contract with North Carolina and that he was still open to getting an NFL coaching job.
Well, apparently he still can get out of this UNC deal for a lot less. There's like a buyout period up until like August. It's kind of like a perfect time for him if he wanted to become an NFL head coach.
Saints still haven't hired a coach?
Yeah, there's still a lot of availabilities out there. Do I think a call was made to him by Tom Brady? Yeah, but not for this job.
Really?
Maybe they're talking. Maybe he was seeing what he thinks about the team and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it was like an offer sent to him.
Why wouldn't he?
I think Tom Brady really can't stand him. I think he thinks he's
Really?
an a-hole. I think he thinks he's obviously like wants as much power as possible, which is fine because he does a really good job when he has that. I mean, see what he did with the Patriots. Created the greatest
6 Super
dynasty
Bowl.
of all time. But he's power hungry. He takes control in every facet of organization. He's in UNC where he can do that with that football program. Program. He can do that with that program. I don't
Is
think
he going to look at
I don't
the
think
data?
Tom Brady wants that with the Raiders.
Is he going to look at the data around the program?
He's
You
a
got me saying it.
Yeah, he's a data guy.
Data or data? This was another one
I
that
think I'd say
we
data.
discussed. Data
Yeah.
or data?
I use
Which
that.
one's more
that one's
fun
probably
to
the one I
say?
use the most interchangeable. Probably data. Most fun to say.
I do feel like data is fun to say for some reason, but in my mind, like if I just say it, I'll say data.
Yeah. But if I'm like crunching numbers, yeah, we got some serious data we need to look at.
But is Pete Carroll really a better, like, why would Tom Brady rather have Pete Carroll than Bill Belichick?
Because Pete Carroll will do his job. Be a head
Really?
coach. Bill Belichick will try to be a GM, be the head coach, be the operations guy, be the PR guy.
I just feel like it's a really tough situation, especially for a coach that's like as old as he is. Like, I feel like youth, the NFL is moving more towards youth. Maybe it was because of McVay in Los Angeles, but like the more and more you see like younger coaches, like what's his face in Miami? What's that guy's name?
Mike
Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels, even like 49ers with oh my gosh, I can't think of any of the coaches' names.
Shanahan?
Right now. Shanahan, like he's still a younger guy. Even Stefanski, like a little bit up there, but like, you know, still on the spectrum of things, a younger guy. Where I feel like that's the way to go, especially when you're like building. Dan Campbell, also kind of a younger player or younger coach. I feel like that's the way to go, especially when you're building a team like this that like is this program, this organization is set up terribly right now, you know?
Yeah, they're in an awful spot. But if you look at like the history of Raiders coaches, been a lot of misses.
Yeah.
There's been no hits on any of those. They're quick. Antonio Pierce, I really thought had a chance. He was put in a really tough position, as we've talked about here, but was that interim coach towards the end of the season, and just couldn't get it done. I don't know if that's his fault, but he was a younger guy. He's probably not even 40 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think youth or anything matters. I mean, Gerard Mayo, he's not 40 years old. Didn't
He
barely
got
last
canned.
this season. It's NFL coaching, or just the head coach of an NFL team is one of the most bizarre, fascinating jobs in the world. I
It
think.
really is, because obviously the coach makes a huge difference, and the coaching staff makes a huge difference. But like
Deference. There's another one.
deference,
Deference and
the
difference.
vast deference. That's a medical part.
Deference, and difference.
Yeah, I
And
think
whack.
the vas deference is a anatomy term for something in your junk.
Balls.
Yeah. What was I
Back to
saying?
football.
I think that the coach does make a lot of difference, but like at the same time, like Antonio Pierce set up a terrible situation. Like Gardner Minshew was their starting quarterback, then he got hurt, and like Aiden O'Connell's their quarterback. Their best player is a rookie tight end, like, which again, he's really good, but
Best.
the best. I agree, but like it's not like he's Ryan Day. He woke up on third and thought he hit a triple, as Jim Harbaugh said. Like, he's in a terrible situation. He's doing the best with what he can, and it's not very much, and maybe not very good, but at least he's trying. And like I said, like you guys didn't really give him all that much help. 216-859-8699. Give us some help. Let us know what you think about the newest head coaching hires.
Hey, Style here, and I want to take a minute to talk to you about Hellbender Vinyl, a proud supporter of local and independent music and a proud supporter of WSRR Radio. Hellbender Vinyl is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl pressing plants. Located in Upper Lawrenceville on Butler Street, Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only vinyl record pressing plant and is here to help local bands and artists get their albums onto vinyl. Hellbender Vinyl offers vinyl record pressings to ensure that albums don't just end up as a bunch of ones and zeros floating around somewhere on the internet. So, if you're interested in giving your album a physical release, you can visit hellbendervinyl.com to start the conversation today. Plus, every customer at Hellbender Vinyl receives 5 free test presses to review at no additional cost. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Think of the best 6 seconds of music available in a once-in-a-lifetime collection. Past Vine Times presents The Vines of Our Times. I Love You, Bitch.
I love you, bitch.
Let's Get It On,
I ain't
Cat.
gonna never stop loving you.
Dad and Son in the Kitchen. Your Mom's a Hoe. The Potato. Look at all those chickens. Peel the avocado. That was legitness. Fuck ya chicken strips. And many more. All this for $26.99, but $16.99 when you use your Cash App. But wait, there's more. If you order right now,
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh. We are brought to you by WSRR Radio, and WSRR Radio is brought to you by GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point at GenericClothes.com. Don't sell out to big brand clothing empires and their prices. Make a statement at their expense with some of your favorite t-shirts like sports team, political statement, music band, and more. I think there's one that says beer, which I really like. There's another that says pants.
It's pretty sick.
Those are some of your top sellers.
I think I need to get one.
You need a shirt that says pants?
I think I need about 5, actually.
I like that.
One for every day when I go into work.
Monday, Wednesday. No Tuesday. I don't know why I jumped over Tuesday.
Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get 5 shirts that just say the day of the week, but they aren't the day of the week. Wear Friday on Monday.
I think I'd be the coolest dude.
Kind of changes your mindset. I kind of like that.
I mean, it kind of helps you not have to think when you get up in the morning. It's one less decision you have to make. Life's all about decisions. You put on your Monday shirt when it's Monday. Put on your Tuesday shirt when it's Tuesday.
No, but I like wearing a Wednesday shirt on Monday.
Throw it off a little bit.
Yeah, be like, hump day. Hump day. Remember that commercial?
It's all about the mindset. Yeah.
Remember that stupid-ass commercial with the camel?
I never found that one funny.
That was a bad one. I didn't like that one that much.
So this is kind of like our unhinged segment. So things have gotten weird recently. Donald Trump released a crypto coin that people made like billions of dollars on. But anyways, a few
Elon
nights
Musk
ago,
did the Heil Hitler sign.
Yeah, things have just been out of control.
Which, by the way, speaking of Elon Musk, real quick, we'll get back to what you were about to talk to.
Okay.
But I went on X on this was like last Friday, and they have this like explain this post feature now with AI.
Yeah,
have you seen this?
Yeah.
Like you can go on and like have AI describe what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's awful.
Someone tweeted something about being excited, like for the national championship game, like about rooting for Ohio State. And then someone else quote tweeted it and said, can't wait for Monday. It's going to be lit. Or it said I remember exactly now. It said LFG Monday is going to be lit.
Yeah.
And this was the first post that I saw that had this feature. So I was like, oh, like I know what they're talking about, but I'm curious what the AI is going to say about this tweet. So I click on it. And it's like, LFG means let's fucking go. And I was like, all right, thank you. First off, thank you, AI. I appreciate that. And then it was like, this tweet is referring to how Monday is going to be how the user is excited for Monday because it is the day of President Trump's inauguration.
No way.
And I was like, what?
Conspiracy theory.
I was like, Elon, this is not right. And so I responded to the AI and I just said, pretty sure this is about the national championship game. And it was like,
no.
After further examination, this is about Ohio State playing Notre Dame in the national championship. But I was like, damn, Elon, come on.
Twitter, that AI stuff is so funny sometimes. Like Facebook, Instagram does the same thing. There's this one, like a picture of SpongeBob, like kind of like Spob, looking like he was like dead, like his tongue's out. He's like,
the one where he's getting dragged through the perfume aisle?
Yeah, by Patrick.
Yep, I know the one.
The caption, it was like a meme. The caption was like, the cuz that goes on a bender each weekend but owes everyone $20. And then
so stupid.
It's like, it's a really dumb meme. But then like the AI thing, one of them was like, what? Like click to find out more is like, why is the cuz in debt? How does the cuz manage finances?
That's what AI was asking?
Like you could like click on it.
You could ask this?
Like the AI was like underneath it.
Uh-huh.
Like if you hit like, why is the cousin debt? It would be like, well, I don't know, and make up some.
Yeah, well,
BS.
what did it even say?
What
did it say about cuz?
It didn't say anything. It's just that screenshot of the why is the cousin debt? How does the cuz manage finances? But back to
Sorry,
like
what
that.
were you saying about Trump?
Well, it was more like about the crypto thing.
Barron. Does Barron have Riz? Go on, sorry.
Barron kind of, well, that he's ginormous.
Just the way he stood up. I have a son. He's very tall. That's the only thing he knows about Barron. He's very tall and he loves TikTok. That's the only things he knows. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
The creator of Vine like came out with his own crypto coin.
Oh, word. Vine coin?
It popped off. But the reason I was bringing it up is that he like posted like a Vine compilation. That stuff was not funny. Well, it was at the time, but now looking at it,
Vines don't hold up?
So unfunny.
You don't think they hold up?
It's like just tough to watch.
Really?
Really bad.
Some of them are funny nostalgically.
Yeah, but barely.
I do think that
like even the dude, like that was funny, but now I watch, I'm like, it's not funny.
I do feel like it's kind of like millennial humor.
That would get 3 likes on TikTok today.
I do, yeah. I do feel like it's kind of like millennial cringe humor.
Yeah.
The like, oh, look how crazy and stupid I am. Which like you kind of have to do in 6 seconds. Like you kind of have to be as outlandish as you can.
The 6 seconds was crazy.
That is wild. Like, it's funny because like we talk about how short our attention span is now, like with TikTok. But I feel like most TikToks now are like around a minute almost.
Sometimes more.
Yeah,
I swear
and, and sometimes they're like I've gotten like 9-minute TikToks.
Like, am I watching YouTube right now?
Yeah,
or?
and but like no one talked about how Vine did that. Like literally, they were 6 seconds, and yet somehow I feel like it wasn't the same, or maybe it was, and it just led to this.
People, I think nostalgia plays a big part in people remembering Vine because it was not that enjoyable of an app. TikTok,
I never had it.
TikTok, like it's so the algorithm is like so down to what you like that you can spend hours on there. I remember like being on Vine and be like, all right, this sucks. People be like, this kid's saying something for 6 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing about 6 seconds is like you don't have much time to
get talking.
You don't have much time to be good. That's why I feel like it can get old quicker too.
There were some great ones, but for the most part, looking back, bad. And it's similar, like watching like Key and Peele. Some of those still kind of stand up, but for the most part, they're not as funny as they used to be. Things have changed.
I don't know. I think maybe you need to go back and watch it in a different mindset.
But
there's times like that.
Spob always.
There's been times where I haven't watched Spob for a while, and then I'll go back. Like I watched Spob, and I'm like, "Damn, was this that funny at all?" And like, it was probably just the episode wasn't that good because now like you go back and watch OG Spob, and
it hits,
and like I don't know if I just like wasn't in the right mindset when I was looking at it at that time or what.
You're hating.
Yeah, I was in a hating mindset. Maybe you got to change your viewpoint.
No, I was like, I clicked on video, like, expecting to, like, laugh at it.
Now I need to watch.
I just watched with a straight face for, like, 3 minutes.
All right. Worse. I think I'm going to pause the recording right now and watch a Vine compilation.
I'll show you the one the Vine creator posted with his, like,
okay. We're going to pause this for 2 minutes, and I'll tell you what I think. Ready? We'll be back in 3, 2, 1. All right. It wasn't great, but
sucked.
I will, like...
I think I laughed more than you did.
You did laugh, yeah. You were a hypocrite because you were laughing more than I was.
I watched this second time, and I laughed to like
that's
3.
The thing. Well, that's the thing about Vine too, is that you watch the compilation, you can only watch it once, and then it jumps to the next one. On Vine, you'd watch like it would loop, right?
Yeah, it does on TikTok.
Yeah, but they're longer, so you don't watch the loop.
You know what Twitter does, which I hate? It does that auto scroll.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And I've realized why they do that.
To try to suck you in?
Well, the second one...
suck you off?
The one as soon as the video ends, the one it automatically goes to next is always an ad. Every single time. It's never another video.
Maybe it's not...
So they're just like...
Maybe it's not an auto scroll then. They're just trying to get their
They're artificially generating ad revenue. I don't want to watch... If I want to watch a second video, I'd scroll. But they're doing that so they can get that extra money.
In defense of that...
No one wants to sponsor that garbage.
In defense of Vine, I also think that was a bad compilation. Like I think there's some better ones.
That was the Vine founder trying to make a quick buck on his token. He compiled the best Vines ever.
Those weren't the best ones.
Listen.
What about Road Work? That's a good one.
No, it's not.
You don't remember? You don't think Road Work was a good one?
Yeah, I could watch right now straight face.
Yeah, but you have to think about it the first time you watched it. Like the first time I watched it, I was like, that's pretty clever. That's funny.
But that's not like laughing out loud. That's not like...
I laughed out loud when I first saw it.
No chance.
Come on. I think you're being negative. I think you're being a negative Nancy.
I just think Vine stinks. I think the people who are making these coins are scammers and... Yeah. So, F Vine. F Twitter.
F. Wow. Well, 216-859-8699. Let us know your favorite Vines of all time. Thanks for being with us.
Peace.